Your brows are not twins, they are sisters. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're just seeing me, hi, my name is Cindy. Good to have you here. You're most definitely welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome and welcome back. In today's video, I'm gonna be doing an eyebrow tutorial. It's a requested video. I would usually do my brows after I'm done with my skin base or skin work, but for the sake of those of us that do our brows before our makeup, I'm gonna be doing my brow before the makeup. For my brows today, I'm gonna be using the Focalor brow pencil. I think the name has rubbed off. Yes, it has rubbed off, but this is a Focalor brow pencil. You can basically use any pencil, and I'm gonna be using my spoolie, brush up my hairs. If you have really oily brows, then you don't want to skip this step. What I normally love to do is using a blotting powder. So I'm going to go in over with a blotting powder from Black Opal. Take a light and generous amount, tap off the excess, place it on my brow hairs. So after doing this, I like to leave it to sit in for a minute or two before going over to draw the brow or going over to apply the brow product. I know a lot of us use brow wax on our makeup, or you use brow gels on our makeup. For those of us that do not use brow gels, you can go over with this step or go over with this technique over your brow. The reason I love using a blotting powder is because it soaks up the oil on your face and as well as on your brow. So you can use a setting powder if you don't have a blotting powder. For me, I love using the blotting powder because it's just easy and it's translucent. It doesn't have color. Now that it's all dried down or is all that not settled down, I'm going to comb up my brows again. I'm gonna be filling my brows. So you want to make sure that your pencil is sharp. Don't use a blunt pencil to fill in your brow or to draw your brows. You're not going to have a seamless brow. So I'm going to start from here. Notice where I started from. I'm not starting from here. I'm starting here. So I'm just lightly tracing my hairs tracing my under hairs. My hairs underneath my brows. I'm just lightly tracing that. Don't draw a really strong stroke. I'm just drawing this underneath the hairs, tracing my hairlines. Over to the top and do the same. And I'm doing this lightly. Do not draw be hard on your brows or draw too harsh lines on your brows. Now I'm going to fill that in, and I'm lightly doing this. Do that. You can see how our brows is looking like. I'm going to make sure to brush up the hair. Combing it up to spread the brow products over on the hair. So like this or with this, you want to make sure this will give you a natural brow. Make sure your brows are trimmed. I forgot to say that. This will give you a natural brow, natural looking brow. Go back in again to fill this other side, to lightly fill it in. I'm just lightly filling in the hairs, so you see like there is literally nothing on there. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to use a concealer to fill in the brows or to define our brow, just to clean up the brow area. To define my brows, I'm going to be using the concealer from elf Camo Hydrating Concealer. I love using this concealer, especially for my brows. You can use any concealer, and make sure that the concealer you use to define underneath your brow is one shade lighter. You can go slightly lighter, but don't go above 2 shades lighter. You can use a concealer that is your exact shade, or use your foundation to do that. So I'm going to clean up my brow from underneath my brow here, define it, and I'm just lightly doing that. Notice I'm not doing my brows like this. Do not do your brows like this. This will not give you a really defined brow. So I'm just cleaning up some of these areas, and now that we're done, now that we are done doing that, next I'm going to use a buffing brush, and I'm just going to buff this in from this side, buff from the edges first before going into press the concealer so it dries down. I don't like to apply too much concealer at once. I love to build it up, especially if I want a brightened brow. Go to repeat the exact same thing we did earlier. You don't have to build up your concealer if you don't want to. If you want a natural looking brow, you can just use a one coat or one layer of your concealer. It goes a long way and it's perfect. I'm just cleaning this from the edges. You can see how our brows is looking like. You can tell the difference. You see how we move from here to this side. Usually I don't like cleaning the top of my brows. So it's preference. If you want to clean the top of your brows, go over with a concealer that is your exact shade match, or use a foundation that is your exact shade match. For me, I don't want to clean the top of my brows. I don't like doing that. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I only do that on rare cases. I find out that whenever I clean the top of my brows, it doesn't make my brows look natural. I just want to have the natural brow, so I always opt for cleaning underneath my brow and not the top of my brows. Here is a completed brow. This is a quick and easy brow tutorial for both beginners and advanced. My brows usually don't take up time. In less than 10 minutes, I'm done doing my brow. Sometimes in less than 5 minutes, I'm done doing my brow, depending on the kind of look I'm going for. Sometimes the look I'm going for determines how I draw my brow or how I would do my brow. Before drawing your brow, make sure your brow is well trimmed. Make sure to follow your eye shape or follow your brow shape. Do not draw across your brow shape or go above your brow shape. To retrace the lines underneath your brow hairs to give you a more defined look. Another thing to note when drawing your brows are not twins, they are sisters. So you do not try to make your brows look identical. They are sisters. Naturally, our brows are not the same. Sometimes some persons try to get the exact same brow, but it's not the same for everybody. Same way you draw your brow on the left hand will not be the same you draw your right hand, but make sure that they are as close as possible and do not try to make them look exactly the same. If you enjoy videos like this, do let me know in the comment section down below, and make sure to check my other playlist to stay connected. Bye guys.